My bad. Did you just roll your eyes like my kid? Please
I
stop
am
doing
your
that,
kid's
Mom. Yeah,
I am
you
your
are.
kid's age though, so
You're younger than my kids. Kathleen, so here's the thing. She needs help figuring out how to set up systems. This is how I did it. I literally wrote down every single task that I do. Now, I didn't break things down like Pinterest, manually pin on this day, right? Make my pins, make my descriptions. I didn't do that. I just wrote pin to pin or pin to Pinterest. Then I wrote keep up with my Facebook group. And then I wrote my declutter in minutes membership group. And then I wrote write new content. And I wrote down every single activity that I did.
Mhm.
And then each activity got a page on Google Docs. And I wrote down all the steps that I did. Then I put them into order. And then you can do your Loom videos if this is something you're going to VA out. And then you can keep everything organized in an index on Google Docs or Google Drive, whatever makes the most sense. And that's how you do it. That's all it is. It's just literally a step by step of how you do a specific activity for your business, and how in depth you get is entirely up to you. But if you could see in the future, this is something I'm going to give to a VA, then I would absolutely do videos and tutorials so you have it all done and ready to go. Because I think the videos are huge, especially if there is a language barrier.
It's true. I mean, just in general, like think about it. Like when you are reading out instructions, like freaking IKEA furniture. Okay, I'm going to make our processes the same way as IKEA furniture, because to the people who are making the IKEA furniture diagrams, it's super simple. It makes total sense. What is wrong with you that you can't understand this? But if IKEA did a video to show me how to assemble that freaking dresser that I literally would have gnawed my arm off with my teeth rather than actually designing
that comes
it myself.
in a box this big.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, sorry.
It's like, how does this happen? But if IKEA did a video on how to do that, they don't even need to talk. Just show me what to do. Like, I will watch that over and over and over again, and my user experience would go way up. It's the same thing with our stuff for VAs. You know what I mean? Like, it works. It's easier when you can see it in action than read it. And so that's kind of one thing, but it also helps you, because this is kind of fun. Also really nerdy, so you don't have to do this. But if you are ever like doing one of those things where you're going through and doing your process and you start to feel like this is clunky, you're like, there has to be an easier way to do this. There has to be an easier, shorter, more user-friendly way to do this. Like, there has to be, right? That would be something that you could like actually audit yourself. Like, am I wasting too much time on this? Like,
that's the truth though.
Yeah.
It's a real eye-opener.
Oh yeah, it's a really, really fascinating thing. So whether or not you actually show the video itself to a VA, or if you just keep it for yourself for the time being and just give it a name of what system it is, it really will help you. On the topic of like, I really liked, Tracy, what you said about like writing down the things that you do each day. If you're trying to figure out if you're at a point where you are maxed out on your time, but still have tasks that need to get done, and you feel like you're like, this is how you kind of know when you're ready for a VA, is when you hit the end of your day and you're like, I could work for an extra 15 hours today. I just could. Like, I need to do more work. Like, I just have so much stuff that I have to do. If you hit that point, or when you are when you feel like your day is taken up with busy work and you didn't even get around to doing something creative or sending an email that was important or whatever it is, like, that's when it might be time to start looking into a VA. Not because you're like, well, everybody has one, it's a cool thing to do, but it's when you feel like you're tapped out. And both of us have hit that point at different points in our businesses, even inside of our partnership. We're like, we can't do any more. Like, there is not enough of me to go around to get everything that I need to done. that's when you know that it's time to hire on an extra set of hands or an extra half of a brain, because by the end of the day, that's all I got left is the half a brain. I'm like, and I have to make dinner. So
no, I think I think it's a really good point. And
Yeah.
here's the thing about VAs. I found most of my VAs by chance. My best VAs literally reached out to me. And that I think that is probably the reason why my top VAs they have the hardest jobs, because when they reach out to you, then they're really interested in doing this. And when I reach out to them, I need them more than they need me. When they reach out to me, they need me more than I need them. So they're going to really put their best foot forward. And so those are always my best VAs, are the ones that reach out to me. Now, as far as finding a VA, I think we need to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. Let's talk about finding a VA, guys, because this is the fun part. Tracy, go.
Yes. Okay. So like I said, my project manager, my top VA, Michelle, she reached out to me like 3 years ago, and she has been working for me ever since. My second VA, Lindsay, also reached out to me, and she's been working for me ever since. And then a couple of my other VAs, I went to Facebook to an actual VA sourcing page, and that's where I got a lot of my VAs. Now, let me just preface with, these are my most expensive VAs. These are the ones that I pay the most an hour. And with these upper level VAs like this, you can expect to pay anywhere from $15 to $35 an hour.
Or more,
and
depending on how specialized they are.
Depending. Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah. So it's important to keep that number in mind. And most VAs are probably going to work anywhere from 1 to 10 hours a week. So you want to keep that in mind as well. Now, the lower level VAs, and when I mean lower level, I mean more autopilot, service oriented VAs, things that you can just give them a Loom video. They do the same steps every time they do something. And that is how it works. Those, when you can reach out for how do I want to say it? You know where I'm going with this. The VAs that don't require as much payment per hour.
The outsourced VAs, though,
the ones that you go to Fiverr or Upworks for, the ones that you just generically ask for help and you get 1,000 responses. Yeah, those VAs are going to be a little bit more affordable. I have a couple that only charge $7 an hour. Some are 10. I think Caroline has some that are even less expensive.
No, mine are 8.
Thank you.
Overseas VAs. That's the one.
Yes, Anna. That's the one I'm looking for. I just want to be politically correct when we talk about this.
I think it's really important to say, like, I don't think that there's a problem with that at all. I have a VA who I pay 20 hours a week, and she's so cute. Her name is Janelle, and she literally feeds her family from the 20 hours a week of work that I give her for $8 an hour. And I'm like,
yeah,
okay, I will keep giving you work because you do great work. And like, that's awesome. And it makes me feel like I'm changing someone's life, and it makes me feel kind of good. But also, I'm like, I'm not just going to keep somebody on if they're not doing a good job. She does a good job. Like, that's the important thing, is like,
yeah, you've had some VAs that were very inexpensive that you had to let go because they weren't doing a good job.
Oh yeah. Including one that deleted my entire Teachable. That was really fun.
Oh, you let go of her?
Oh yeah. Because she didn't respond back to me. She deleted everything out of my Teachable. And then when I had
it was a rough weekend.
When I had my project manager who was like, I sent out to my project manager, I was like, here's what's going to happen. Either we can get it back. Yay, great. Nothing happens. Or we can't. And here's what she's going to do for the entire weekend. And there was no response. And so,
oh boy.
Well, but that's part of being a business owner. Like, I like to give 3 strikes. I'm not like oh my gosh, you sent the pin at the wrong time. Like, how dare you? Like, you're fired. I'm not that kind of person. I'm a like, okay, so we messed up. That's okay. What are we going to do next time? Like, how are we going to fix this for the next time? But okay, back to where to find VAs. Facebook groups is an awesome place to do it. I think that for the most part, though, you're going to find a lot of US based VAs. Like Tracy said, those are going to be expensive. You can go to both Upwork and Fiverr. I
I
recommend.
have not had good luck there. I know Carolyn has, but I have not had good luck with them.
I have had a mixed bag on Fiverr, and that's a story for another day. But on Upwork, I've actually found quite a few VAs who are really good. And it's really great because inside of Upwork, you can actually say, like, you can set them through an interview process where, especially if you're hiring somebody from overseas, where you can actually gauge how good their English is, how well they understand prompts, and how well they understand. Like, one of the questions that I didn't write this question, but my project manager did to another person. It was, what are your biggest weaknesses when it comes to your work? I love that question because I'm like, that is such an interview question. But
Oh,
it's
it is.
also but here's the thing. It's also kind of like a next level understanding of the English language question. Because it's not something that it's like, what's your favorite part about Pinterest? Like, that's something that you could kind of do a Google Translate if you really needed to. But when you ask a question that's kind of a deeper question, it does require a better knowledge of English. And that's how a really good way to gauge their proficiency in English. And then obviously, like, you can decide, like, you're not going to do direct responses to customers. Like, if you have any questions, you can ask me, or you can just copy and paste a yay canned email like response. You know what I mean?
No, I think that's a good point.